Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm going to wait for a few people to jump on. Big news in the Casey White, Vicky White case. Casey White, Lauderdale County, Alabama. An indictment. An indictment went down today. An indictment went down today against Casey White. This here is very, very interesting. There's going to be a lot of legal challenges when it comes to this case here, and I'm going to explain why. First, I'm going to read the indictment. He was indicted. Hi, everyone, for jumping on. Thanks for following my channel. I've been on the Casey White case since the beginning. In particular, when he made his way to Evansville, Indiana, and was seen at that car wash, at that Wineback car wash. My friend who lives right by Wineback car wash, his name is Mike Boatman. Soon as it was reported that Casey White was possibly at Wineback car wash, my friend Mike Boatman went over to there and talked to James Stinson, who was the employee that saw Casey White's truck inside that car wash stall, and then he called authorities. Well, Mike Boatman got me to talk to James Stinson right after the situation happened. I went live with him on my Facebook Messenger, and he was providing me a lot of insight all the way up to the point to where they got a report that the police were chasing Casey, outside Evansville, Indiana. So, I've been following this case. You got to go back and watch those videos because it was like fluid. It was in like real time. It was so surreal. Totally think that James Stinson deserves the reward money for turning Casey in. He didn't get the reward money. The Alabama Governor Ivey gave the reward money to someone else anonymously, which I thought wasn't right because James Stinson, the car wash guy, set the motion in to capture Casey White. But in the course of that happened, Vicky White died. Today, in the state of Alabama, in the Lauderdale County Circuit Court, an indictment just got released. Casey White has been indicted, and I'm going to read this, for felony murder. Casey White has been indicted for felony murder. The grand jury of said county charge, before the finding of this indictment, Casey Cole White, a convicted felon whose name is otherwise known to the grand jury, did commit the crime of escape in the first degree pursuant to Section 13A Code of Alabama. And in the course of committing the escape in the first degree, caused the death of Vicky White, who died from a gunshot wound to the head, in violation of 13A-62 of the Code of Alabama against the peace and dignity of the state of Alabama. Now, I have a lot of questions about that indictment there. First off, the indictment doesn't say that Casey White pulled the trigger and killed Vicky White. It does not say that he did that. It's saying that he's responsible for her death because it was a felony escape at the time. And in the result of that felony escape, Vicky White died. Therefore, Casey White should be charged with her murder. I find that very interesting. That argument right there is going to face many legal challenges, and I'll tell you why. First off, Vicky White, she died in the state of Indiana. She did not die in Alabama. So Alabama issuing an indictment today against Casey White for a murder or a death that happened in Indiana has my head boggling there. How can that even stand? How can that even stand? I understand the escape, right? The escape. That's a crime. He should be charged for the escape. I understand that. But for her to die in another state, how does Alabama have jurisdiction over that? How does Alabama have jurisdiction over that? And there's an article out that says some interesting information I'm going to read here. Oh, and by the way, the family of Connie Ridgway, who Casey White was originally in the Lauderdale County Jail to face murder charges for. So I am friends with her son, right? Her son, Austin. Very nice guy. You know, we communicate in Facebook Messenger and stuff like that. He's going to give me a statement about this new development because I shot him a message and I said, you know, he's been indicted, and he's doesn't surprise him, and he's going to give me a statement later on this afternoon, and I will release that statement that he gave me. So the family, the Ridgway family, is going to give me a statement about the new development today about Casey White being charged with murder. So an article came out, Alabama article, Casey White charged with murder of Vicky White during escape. Casey White, the subject of a national manhunt in May after escaping from jail in Lauderdale County, has been charged with felony murder in connection with the death of Vicky White, the jail officer who aided the escape. Lauderdale County District Attorney Chris Connolly announced Casey White's indictment Tuesday. Casey White was captured May 9th in Evansville, Indiana, 11 days after leaving the jail in Florence with Vicky White, who authorities said facilitated his escape. Vicky White remained with Casey White and died as police closed in by what Indiana authorities said was a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head as police closed in. Though Casey White has been charged with her death, the indictment does not say he killed her. And I read the indictment. I just read the indictment to you guys. The indictment does not say that Casey White killed Vicky White. The indictment charges Casey White with first-degree escape and in the course and furtherance of committing escape in the first degree caused the death of Vicky White, who died from a gunshot wound to the head. So they're saying in the course of the escape, she died, therefore Casey White should be charged with her murder. That's going to be an interesting legal argument right there. I get it, but she died out of state. She died out of state. But they want to hold Casey White accountable. I went to that Lauderdale County Jail. Matter of fact, I went through there and I posted a video. I went through there at night. It is a... Listen, I'm from the East Coast, right? Most county jails on the East Coast in bigger cities, you know, it's a fortress, right? They got lots of fences and it's always in a spaced out area with lots of room and big, right? This one, it was a small rinky-dink jail, right? And I just saw one sally port that onto at the front of the entrance of the jail. I saw a sally port on the side, and that's apparently where these people get let out and then taken to prisons or to medical facilities or medical treatment or back and forth from court. I was shocked. I was shocked by the lack of security there, because usually in most jail facilities, county jails, right, you go into a sally port, into the sheriff's van or a transport van, and then before you even leave that facility, you're going through an additional check gate. And, security there is running names to verify who's who in the vehicle or whatnot. It didn't look like that happens there at that jail. It looks very, very small. It's in Florence, Alabama. I went there at night. You can drive right to the back of the jail, like the street in back of that jail. There's a long street, and it's just a fence. And you're the road there where people can just be right there at the jail is unbelievable. It's unbelievable how small. Doesn't look, I didn't see any vehicles. I went there at night. I went there, passed through there in the middle of the night. I didn't see any security patrols. I didn't even see any guard watchtowers. I see nothing. Nothing. Matter of fact, there was a small parking lot in the front. I see maybe like 7 or 8 vehicles for this entire jail. So That's interesting, and then I went to Vicky White's gravesite. I actually went to Vicky White's gravesite. It was probably about 25 minutes northeast of Florence. I went there to check her gravesite in the middle of the night. That was a scary scene too, because dogs were barking in fields. Where she's buried is in the middle of nowhere. Definitely the country. Scary to me. But I went just to check out and see. I made a video, so go put in the searches for YouTube Vicky White gravesite, Jonathan Riches, and you'll see. But this case now is interesting. So, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of misinformation being spread as if Casey White pulled the trigger on Vicky White. That doesn't seem like the case. That's not what the indictment is saying. It's just saying that in the course of the escape, Vicky died. Therefore, Casey White should be responsible for her death. And I wonder why the prosecutor, it seems like the name of the prosecutor in the county is Connolly, District Attorney Connolly. I'm wondering why he wanted to go forward with this, considering that Casey White is already facing murder charges for Connie Ridgway. He's already serving multiple decade sentence for a crime spree that he committed. Is this just posturing? Is this just to appease the public? Or what? Like, why would you charge him with murder when he's already facing one other murder? Or is this going to be leverage? Is this going to be leverage on Casey White to just plead guilty to everything in return of a life sentence? Because remember, too, this is first-degree murder. Alabama, I believe, is a death penalty state. So is this is the district attorney going to go that forward on this case? And his name is Connolly. Is he going to go that brazen and say, hey, I'm seeking the death penalty against Casey White for this? That remains to be seen too. Or can that, be used as leverage? Yeah, Casey White, he's never going to get out of jail unless he escapes again. But knowing the lapse of security in that area, in those county jails, who knows? We might see Casey White in the news again down the line that he escaped again. He seems like he's tried to escape in that same jail before. He actually was able to do it, whether he manipulated Vicky White or befriended her, or she was part of it, or she was just an innocent victim. It's still unclear on what happens, and hopefully the district attorney releases some information about that. Like, how did this all happen? How did this all happen? But Casey White, he looks like he's facing murder charges for the death of Vicky White. I wonder how Vicky White's family feels about this. Did they pressure the DA to get charged? Because I will say, when Vicky White had her funeral, there was lots of people that attended there. Matter of fact, the district attorney of Lauderdale County posted something on Facebook. Basically, it was an interesting post about Vicky White when she died, and it's something like he's not judging her or whatever like that. So maybe they're in the community there, they're making her out to be a victim victim in this case. I personally don't think she's a victim. I think she was knowingly and willingly a participant in this scheme to get out. I don't think once they got out that Casey was holding her hostage. She probably had every opportunity to escape. The guy that we spoke to, the James Stinson at the Weinbach car wash, where Casey's vehicle was found in that car wash stall, he said to me that surveillance shown another vehicle, Vicky White, picking him up in another vehicle and then taking him away. So, I mean, if she was if she was being held by him hostage, or she had every opportunity to escape from him, yet she didn't. She stayed with him all the way to the end. Or was this a suicide pact? Was this a suicide pact between Casey and Vicky White? But there's the new developments. I'm not going to stay on much longer. I am following this case. I'm going to release a statement soon from the Ridgway family I am friends with the son on Facebook. Very, very nice guy. I tell him regularly. I pray for him and I pray for his family to get justice. He's actually going to give me an interview down the line. Very, very nice guy. He sees how I follow the Summer Wells case and other missing people's cases around this country and stuff like that. And so there you have it. Not much more to report here. We will see what happens with this case. It's new. It's fluid. I was the first person to post on YouTube that Casey White has been charged with felony murder. I'm actually on the district attorney's press release list. So when any new information comes out of that county, I see it. It's for media outlets and media people that can sign up for it, and they get to see, the new developments as they come out. That's how I found out very quickly. I found out very quickly that he was indicted, probably quicker than most people found out. A few media outlets started putting it out on Twitter. But I'm on this case. So follow my channel, like, subscribe, hit the notification button. I cover true crime cases around the country. I do travel around the country and go to breaking news crime scenes. If you have any cases out there that you want to bring awareness to, that you think is lacking awareness or needs attention, or missing persons cases, hit me up. I will leave my email in the notification or in the comments, so you can comment, and send me some information about missing people's families that need some help, or need justice, or an injustice out there. There's lots of injustices out there that do not get the attention that they deserve, right? And I'm 100% for the victims. And there you go. Casey White, I'll be following this case. Everyone be safe. God bless. Don't ever help an inmate try to escape jail, because you see the consequences. It's just bad news. And escapes in this country, I was reading, there's thousands of them a year. Thousands of people escape from federal prison camps and county jails, and even prisons itself, and rehab, when they're still under the supervision of the Department of Corrections or county jails. A lot of people escape from these work release centers and jail, when they're out there cleaning trash off the road. It happens a lot. I don't know why these people feel like they have to escape, because they're not going to be able to be on the run forever. The odds are very against them, considering this is the internet age, and their faces will be plastered all over, and their families will be badgered and heckled and harassed to find the person that escaped. You just can't get away with it anymore. Just accept responsibility for your actions and do your time. And while you're incarcerated, try to do better and take some programs and get out and be a productive person. Get out and work and make changes, even if you have to do selfless acts and try to help others, contribute to society. But you're not going to get away. The criminal lifestyle is not cool. It's not cool. It's not cool to be infamous, right? Some people want to be famous, but they think infamous is famous. It's not. It's not. So I don't know why these people escape. Maybe it's a drug addiction. Maybe their mental illness comes into play or whatnot. Hello, everyone. How are you? Thanks for watching. Thanks for spending your time watching me. Just wanted to show the Casey White case. So I'll leave it at that. Everyone be safe. God bless. Talk to you soon. All right. Bye-bye.